go home now, I see like a lot of like cool things, like city projects trying to get different culture, like reviving the cultural areas in Trenton, because there's just nothing to do in Trenton if you've ever been. Like, it's not even a joke, like nothing. And that's kind of nice, because like I come to a town of a similar caliber, but New Brunswick I've seen like in the last few years, and I've had family up here too, so like they've seen the family art, like even my time outside of Rutgers. Just the development of the city, like comparing the two post-industrial cities, is kind of nice watching like how George Street has like changed so much in the past 10 years, and like development of everything is kind of cool, and like comparing the two cities.
Yeah, yeah. Someone, I'm from South Brunswick, so it's, up Brunswick. It's very close. And just, I've been around New Brunswick my whole life. It's just the change that in the last 20 years has been. So the New Brunswick of today is not the New Brunswick of tomorrow, just as the New Brunswick of 20 years ago is not the New Brunswick of today. And then just to kind of tie this into being a student leader, what would you do to ensure that you can adequately lead and represent students on campus? How would you use what you know about New Brunswick Rutgers to do that?
Being culturally aware is extremely important because people come from such diverse backgrounds at Rutgers. Being sensitive to all those cultures is important when meeting others.
No one has any other ideas. You all have to be leaders on campus. You're a peer instructor. That's being a leader.
I serve on two e-boards and I'm programming director for both of them, so I make a point to acknowledge religious holidays when I'm picking large events. Like one of the e-boards I serve is the Seeing Eye Puppy Raising Club, so we do a New York City trip and we bring dogs. So like I made sure when I was picking those dates that they didn't conflict. Like I didn't pick Easter, then I also didn't pick like when Passover was occurring. I made sure to like 3 weeks after because I know that my members are all different backgrounds. And if I pick a Sunday or a Saturday that I knew was a religious holiday, I feel like that's very wrong with me because I'm automatically excluding like a percentage of my members, and that's really not fair. And it's hard because there's like we have all different backgrounds in our club, which is one of the reasons I love it. But you have to make sure you do that because you're excluding a whole percentage of the body of your club. It's really unfair.
Yeah. Anyone else? So, to wrap up this activity, it's very important to be aware of the community you're trying to serve in your time at Rutgers, and it's very important to keep that in mind because to be a good representative and be a good leader, it really helps to understand that community. It has a big impact to just know what you're working with, and it can help you be a better leader because if you lead ineffectively, what's the point? So I'm going to hand out this article. If you could just read the first page because we don't really have time. Oh, they didn't print the back, so just read everything. And we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
When you're done, just put it down, chill, and we'll have some discussion about that. Thank you. It's a real article. It's a little old. It's from 2008. But in my experience, it's still applicable to the university. And so just to introduce, Rutgers diversity is pretty obvious to most people, at least on paper. But in practice, there can be hiccups, and this article just kind of discusses some of those, and then we'll discuss it a bit later. try to wrap it up. You don't read the whole article, it's fine. It's not, this is just demonstration purposes. Okay, so, we'll start with, does anyone have any questions about the article, what it talks about? No? Okay, wonderful. So, to start with, let's compare Rutgers to your hometowns. Did you come from a place that was diverse, and so you came to Rutgers and you're like, oh, this is exactly the same? Or did you come from somewhere that was not diverse? Was there a big impact?
I came from a very small town that we actually were so small we only had like one school, K through 8, that the average class size graduating was only 70 kids. So it was a pretty small town. In the little small town, now like after moving out of it, we're kind of a pretentious little small town. We actually, something really interesting, we actually will pay other townships to build low-income housing so that we don't have to take low-income students within our public school district. So it's just incredibly different to see the very high-end upper middle class pretentiousness compared to New Brunswick and compared to all the different people that you see at Rutgers, because at Rutgers they're open to everyone and they want to help everyone.
I'm from a really small town. It's traditionally like an immigrant town, so I'm Polish, my parents are immigrants, everyone there was pretty much Polish, just Polish people. It kind of became more diverse, but I didn't go to high school there. My high school was a lot more diverse. The public school system in my town wasn't good, so I had to go to private school, and I went to an all-girls high school, which was a totally different story. And we had people from like a bunch of different areas, so the diversity there was the same as here, only I graduated with 40 girls as opposed to the thousands of people that go here. So the amount of people was different.
Anyone else have any?
I also was from South Brunswick, and I remember like my junior and senior years, it was like a really diverse town because we got off on like Muslim holidays, and we got off on like Indian holidays and stuff like that. Like Diwali was a big holiday for them, and like a lot of like religious holidays from many different cultures. Our school like gave us days off, which was like a lot of, I don't think a lot of townships did that. So I think I came from a pretty diverse town.
Last one.
Mine has actually like having a cultural shift now. It's a traditional farming town. It was like, it's Monroe Township, so like we have like the Buckland House and like all the things like, you know, pretty Jamesburg is more historic, but still. And so it was traditionally farming like all white families, and now it's shifting. There's like a huge growing Indian population as well as Filipino. And so as I was going through high school, like in elementary school, there's like 2 Indian kids in the class, and like 1 African American kid. And then by the time we got to high school, we were like so much more diverse. And it was really nice to see, and I'm hoping like with South Brunswick that's really all awesome to hear. I think they're starting to like, because traditionally it'd be like the Christian holiday, the Jewish holiday, that's it. Like, and the Indian kid had to say, like, I can't come to school for this reason, and it had to be like an excuse after.
So, as the article mentions, you know, Rutgers, on paper, very diverse. You know, we've got all different cultures, religions, backgrounds, but the integration of those groups tends to be more challenging. What would you do as a student leader to try to bring different groups together in meaningful ways?
I think group people based on common interest in regards to like